घुस रहा है, बैठ जा। क्रेटा क्रेटा। ये डिस्क्लेमर डाल देना पूरे एपिसोड का. वी कम फ्रॉम a fairly bit well-versed families, so we aren't kind of making fun or criticizing the middle class of if you belong to the middle class. Just relate कर लो. Fun opinions है, relate कर लो. Right, hey everyone, welcome back to the 29th episode of the Double Bond podcast. I don't know why I'm looking here because हमारा बहुत कुछ upgrade हो चुका है. Finally audio is working, videos in 1080p, everything is subhanallah. We got that main angle, he has got this angle, so what better way to record story time 4?
भाई मेरे पास स्टोरी प्रिपेयर्ड नहीं है.
मेरी भी प्रिपेयर्ड नहीं है.
क्या करें? I was thinking about a story आज, but I have to take permission of that guy before I tell because ये mostly उसकी story है and मुझे
what if we break the norm of releasing the story times consecutively and release the story time at episode 30 or 31?
तो episode 30 ही है.
ये episode 29 है. Right, hey everyone, welcome back to the 29th episode of the Double Bond podcast. मैं पाई ये सिग्मा. We have upgraded the whole. क्या हुआ, कहाँ खो गया?
मिस्टर बीस्ट का वाला 29 था ना?
नहीं, that is चुम्मा हो रहे है.
That's not an episode.
No, that's not an episode. हाँ 12 मिनट का हो गया, but क्या कर सकते हैं? बस ऐसे ही. ठीक है. This is the 29th episode. Welcome back. Our setup has upgraded 3 times, 4 times, जितना भी times. You can extend that. I can extend this. कुछ नहीं होगा. Don't worry. वो निकल के नहीं आने वाला. We have paid JBL like 2,500 at this point. If that thing comes off, I'm returning everything back. But talking about 2,500 or money, my suggested episode would be middle class.
भाई टॉपिक बता यार.
Middle class is the topic.
अच्छा ओ ओके.
इतना प्लेन रिएक्शन क्यों आया तेरे?
नहीं, मिडिल क्लास में सोच रहा हूँ. एपिसोड बनाया था पहले या बनाने वाले हैं?
अभी बनाने वाले हैं. ये वाला एपिसोड जो आएगा वो मिडिल क्लास पे होगा. तो फर्स्टली स्टीरियोटाइप से स्टार्ट करें.
ओके.
Because you know, middle class people have a lot of stereotypes.
I'm middle class.
I am also middle class.
चप्पल लेके बात.
नहीं. So I don't want you guys to come to me in college and be like, तेरे पास तो iPhone 16 Pro है, तू कहाँ से middle class? भाई EMI पे लेने वाले iPhone बंदों को मिडिल क्लास के ऊपर नहीं बोलते.
भाई EMI पे iPhone लेने वाले वो अगर स्टार्टिंग मतलब iPhone और iPhone प्लस लेंगे तो ठीक है. iPhone Pro EMI पे सभी लोग लेते हैं, इवन अमीर भी लेते हैं.
Okay, maybe, but yeah, I finally देख ठीक है. Middle class, let's just start off with the classifications.
Okay.
You might already know there's lower middle class, there's middle class and there's upper middle class. अब तुम comment section में या reel के section में आके मुझे बता सकते हो कि there's no middle class and all of that. I'm just coining terms, but there are people.
Then like you know there is poor. ठीक है. एंड सनी देओल की भी बात है गरीब तेरी बात. But okay, I'm not being insensitive. It's just a meme reference. I am not insensitive regarding them.
So, what do you think of middle class as a whole?
Middle class as a whole. Middle class, भाई कसम से बोल रहा हूँ, moving out of middle class is like a snake game.
हाँ.
जो अपॉर्चुनिटी ढूंढते रह जाओगे.
हाँ.
लेकिन एक बार लास्ट में तुम खुद को काट के मर जाओगे.
The mobile wala game thing. Okay.
Because like you know you keep rotating around that goal again and again. You start becoming hypocritic to your character and personality itself कि तुम्हारा life चुट जाता है.
मेरा एक question है. If say now we all are middle class, right? So what do you think is a goal which you have as a middle class person? मेरे हिसाब से it is the type of thing कि either it's अंधा पैसा कमाना है या लाइफ में सेटल होना है. उसके अलावा जो भी है they start going drifting apart from what people call middle class.
I mean, like, there are two types of middle class. ठीक है, one like is अंधा पैसा कमाना, ठीक है, and there is a other type, your other goal, life में settle हो.
पॉडकास्ट चलेगी नहीं तो अंधा पैसा कहाँ से मिलेगा? तो पॉडकास्ट चला दो प्लीज, शेयर कर दो कजिन के ग्रुप में.
तो हाँ, these are the two types of middle class.
सेकंड वाला टाइप तो बताया नहीं.
बताया तो था.
सेटल वाला.
हाँ, settle वाला
Okay.
type.
His two goals are basically two different sections of the whole middle class segment in India itself. ठीक है.
एंड जहाँ तक मुझे पता है, the upper middle class is settling down in their life. The middle class is the type of people who we are, who are like अंधा पैसा कमाना है. And then the lower middle class is again trying to just settle in their life. उनको जितना पैसा आ रहा
The
है
problem.
उससे वो खुश है.
हाँ, the problem with, like, you know, the lower middle classes, they try so hard to merge with the community.
हाँ.
where the upper middle class तो like देख भाई, obviously लगा तू सही से उतना पढ़ता नहीं है, तेरा दोस्त भी सही से उतना पढ़ता नहीं था, लेकिन अब तेरा दोस्त अच्छा पढ़ने लगा, तुझे तो फीलिंग आएगी ना, तो तू कुछ करने की कोशिश करेगा, तू कॉपी करेगा, कुछ भी करके कुछ ना कुछ करके मार्क्स लेके आने की कोशिश करेगा, थिंकिंग दैट वो बंदा तुझे अभी डिफरेंटली देखेगा क्योंकि अब वो अच्छा पढ़ने लगा है. That is the whole thing with the middle class, ठीक है. And the problem with, you know, the middle class also is, ठीक है, forget lower middle class or growing middle class or who are going to go to the upper class. So there is this thing, okay. एक बार एक टीचर ने मुझे ये चीज़ बताया था, ठीक है. It was relating to Indians, ठीक है. I don't know, she termed it that. So basically, apparently a group of, it's just a story, okay. People who were scientists came to India once and they took a set of frogs, ठीक है, and they what they did, they put up a tumbler, ठीक है, and I don't know if it was frogs or another animal, but whatever, ठीक है, they put up a tumbler, they put 5 frogs in it, okay. Now it was just there. Now obviously the urge will come to get out of that tumbler, get out of that, whole.
I think I heard some kind of a similar
हमारे
story.
स्कूल में ही तो बोला था.
हाँ क्या?
हाँ.
Okay.
तो क्या हुआ?
I have bad memory, sorry.
So like, a frog is trying to go up, ठीक है, but the other frog does not let it go up, it pulls that down, okay. So basically similar thing keeps on happening, but if you see the frogs from different countries or different species of frogs from different countries, it sounds illogical, but that's what the teacher told.
Okay.
ठीक है. In that other set of frogs जो दूसरे कंट्री से आए, they just don't care, they let other people pass. So I feel like middle class का ये थोड़ा सा scenario same आता है जहाँ you don't want to see the other person grow. अगर देख भी लेते हो तो भैंजो either you die out of this irritation अंदर you some sort of you start to cage yourself up, you start feeling disrespected even तो कुछ हो नहीं रहा.
हाँ, but what do you think? See, I would, देखो, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि we should talk about the pros and cons of being middle class. ठीक है. The biggest pro is that you have the lifetime skill which you have achieved over your lifetime to blend in. अब तेरा दोस्त गरीब भी हुआ तो तब भी तू बैलेंस तेरा 15 रुपए भी दिखा सकता है, और तेरे अमीर दोस्त को भी तू बैलेंस 15 रुपए भी दिखा सकता है. अब वो अलग बात है कि तेरा अमीर दोस्त तुझे गरीब बुलाएगा, बट फाइनली तू मिडिल क्लास में ही होगा, ठीक है. बट द पॉइंट बीइंग यू कैन ब्लेंड इन. सेकेंडली, आई पर्सनली फील लाइक, देख, हर कोई बंदा इंडिया में अंबानी थोड़ी ना है कि उसके लेवल की शादी करेगा. मिडिल क्लास की जो शादियां होती है और एनी important function they are supposed to make or do, those are the best functions for foodies. Prove me wrong, lekin that is the one place where you will go in. Basically, Three Idiots. You can take how much ever of whatever you want and stay happy by the end of the night. How much ever you eat, you will be fine. Cons, I wouldn't say there are many. हाँ, वो eventual, like, you will get that feeling कि, am I earning that much money? Is it enough?
Cons, I believe, like, it's just the societal pressure.
Of what?
फॉर एग्जाम्पल तू जहाँ है तू वहीं है इतने सालों से.
बट नहीं,
नहीं
बट
कर रहा.
सोसाइटी डजंट गिव अ फक, नो. आफ्टर अ पॉइंट सोसाइटी थोड़ी, तुझे अगर पैसे आ रहे हैं सोसाइटी थोड़ी आके तुझे बोलेगी कि पैसे कैसे आ गए.
मतलब like you know, okay fine, society pressure मतलब look, there is always no pressure from the society for anything. It's just that something or fear that you build in yourself that कि society क्या सोचेगी. It's not like societal pressure जो society डालती है. It's the fear in you which makes people think कि कुछ तो करना है ताकि society कुछ ना बोले.
So मैं आई एम कमिंग बैक टू दैट स्टीरियोटाइप थिंग. ठीक है, what do you think are the top 5 middle class stereotypes?
Top 5 middle class stereotypes अलग अलग होते हैं. Give me an example.
My example, best example would be the fufa or chacha at your wedding,
Okay.
or the every other relative who comes to your house just a random day and is like, मार्क्स कितने आए, कौन सी लड़की, कौन सी सेक्शन वाली कौन सी रिया को पटा लिया इस हफ्ते, एंड ऑल दोस टाइप्स, यू नो, दैट इज अ वेरी मिडिल क्लास. आई डोंट थिंक कोई करण जौहर का कोई चाचा आके उसको पूछता होगा कि तेरी बीवी कहाँ है, तो उसके 2 ट्विन बच गए, यू नो.
जोहर का नाम मत ले दे, फिर से कुछ केस डाल.
That is the top stereotype from middle class, according to me.
उसके अलावा हाँ, फ्यूचर में क्या करना.
Okay.
इंजीनियरिंग या मेडिकल, एनीथिंग अदर देन दैट. भाई तुम गलत दिशा में जा रहे हो, बिगड़ गए हो, तुम बिगड़ गए हो.
तुम्हारे अच्छे दोस्त रही है, तुम्हारे दोस्तों ने तुम्हें बिगाड़ दिया.
That engineering वो सब ठीक है, दोस्त is the third like top. कि दोस्त, तू दोस्ती कर रहा है इस बंदे के साथ या ये बंदा तुझे कहीं जाके छोड़ के आ रहा है. The phrase which we have heard all the time when we have grown up. अगर वो 10वें माले से कूदेगा तू भी कूदेगा क्या? भाई, the most stereotyped middle class stereotype is this one, that if a friend dies, will you die with him or will you jump with him? I cannot tell how many times it has happened. And of course the दोस्त thing कि तू उसके साथ बहुत नहीं चैट कर रहा आजकल, ये बंदा सही है क्या, तुझे क्या लगता है? छोड़ दो, गलती हो रही है होने दो. I saw this one movie recently, I forgot its name, but basically it was like an elder character telling to the younger character कि जितनी भी गलती हो रही है होने दो, ठीक है, लाइफ है, लाइफ तुम्हें गलती से क्रॉस करेक्शन कर देगी. यू डोंट नीड टू थिंक or overthink before taking a certain decision to, you know, if it's right or wrong. Because I feel like we procrastinate or we overthink a lot at this, in our generation especially, that we don't really think, we don't just, you know, do the thing. We think, then we overthink, and then अगर सही लगा तो कर देते हैं, और गलत हो गया तो we start having generational trauma about it. But that was a good movie lesson कि, you know, just let life do its own thing. अगर तू गलत है तुझे क्रॉस करेक्ट कर देगी लाइफ. Have to be true all the time. And I feel like middle class also is the type of people who have set rules. कि ऐसी होनी चाहिए लाइफ. में 95, 12th में 90 के अबव, कॉलेज, इंजीनियरिंग या you know, medical, that is a set path. If your child or if our, you know, parents think that we are deviating from that path, then uncles, aunties, you know, grandparents, especially grandparents, bhai, grandparents have nothing to do. The fourth stereotype, the amount of references with a TV serial none of our generation watches in the previous generation with uncle aunties or like chacha chachis or nana nanis, that is also a stereotype. Ki they don't have any other job, they just find a serial they all watch. I'm pretty sure your cousin group gets pissed every time there's a reference made in your cousin group by an uncle. जब रेफरेंस तुम्हें नहीं समझ आता पर सारे अंकल्स को समझ आता है, तुम्हारे पापा को समझ आता है, and it's about a TV serial. Do you think we also let go a sort of middle class life after a point. कि कोई जो बंदे they move on after middle class. Say best example Bhuvan Bam, small Delhi guy has वो pause कर. I mean small Delhi guy has created his own realm, 26 million whatever followers on socials, and then now he's getting a big show. He's meeting कितने लोग थे तेरे कॉलेज में भाई
3-4 हजार.
From now on every episode will be me just मेरी गांड जल रही है कि ये भुवन बाम से मिला है, ठीक है. Every episode from now on I'll bring up from somewhere or the other कि ये भोसड़ी वाला भुवन बाम से मिला है. Okay. Anyways 3-4 हजार लोग होंगे. अब हर रोज तो कॉलेज, अब of course he's not doing this on a day-to-day basis. जब उसकी सीरीज आ रही है तभी. Do you think he has moved on from middle class कि दाल चावल नहीं खाना है या राजमा चावल नहीं खाना है या छोले भटूरे नहीं खाने?
भाई I'll tell you this thing, except a few people like Karan Johar, even many Bollywood stars tend to stick to the regular food that they eat. Even from Telugu film industry, most of the people try to stay normal or low-key.
This like kind of gets me to the next point. Are they faking it? Are the actors trying to be resonated or relatable to the people? Because देख तेरी अगर monthly income तेरी अगर 2,000 या 3,000 है, which is under the poverty line, you wouldn't go to watch cinema. You wouldn't pay for subscriptions on Amazon or Netflix. So these actors, YouTubers, whoever they are, celebrities basically, they know that their watchers are middle class mostly. So do you think actors mainly try to blend in कि नहीं यार हम भी छोले भटूरे खाते हैं? हाँ वो अलग बात है कि हाथ में 5 लाख की गुच्ची की बैग रख के खाते हैं, बट खाते तो छोले भटूरे ही हैं.
This question I don't really know. We won't know it unless and until we
reach there, yeah. I hope we reach there. Kash, yes.
So like, the thing is like, middle class, na? People of middle class are the people who are fooled the most.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Even the fucking tax
system either supports the poor or the rich. भाई हम लोग इतने इनकंसिडरेट है गवर्नमेंट को कि हमारे लिए कोई स्कीम ही नहीं है बच्चों. Why is it always like you have enough to live, so it's enough to live?
That is middle class.
Special scheme for people who are richer to get richer, and you have a special scheme for poor people to either get more poor or a bit better than what.
Because probably the government would have understood at that point when they were laying those tax schemes कि इनकी मेंटालिटी यही रहेगी और ऐसे ही चलेगा, चाहे जितने भी साल हो, जितने भी जनरेशन हो, चाहे 3000 ईयर में भी हम रह रहे हो. इफ यू आर वाचिंग दिस एट 3000 BCE, प्लीज सब्सक्राइब. By the rate we are going, I don't think we'll have hit 1,000 subscribers by then also. But anyways, they have understood. The government is smart enough to reap in benefits from the middle class की हाँ इनके पैसे आ रहे हैं monthly. They are willing to buy a SUV which isn't for the poor. Like तू तेरे अकाउंट में 400 या 4,000 रुपए लेके थोड़ी ना SUV खरीद सकता है. You need to have that much money to buy an SUV, and it's not like you're buying Maybach SUVs or something or like Bentley Bentayga. You're buying some venue Creta, fifth stereotype, SUV or Creta, proper middle class. Cause no rich guy who has a garage filled with BMWs, G-Wagon will roam in a Creta. He'll always roam in a Thar. Mostly.
ये Thar भी middle class है.
No.
That's what 16-20 lakhs. That's it.
But as a family man, as a person who is in middle class, देख अब जब हमने spectrum divide ही कर दिया, तब when you are in the family spectrum, you wouldn't buy a plastic box which is black for 20 lakhs.
I mean, like,
it heats so much. You would of course go for. By middle class also does this thing where they compare the whole thing. When I got my first iPhone or when I was planning on buying my first Apple product, I had to sit and make a whole wish list. कि सैमसंग वाला टैब ये कर रहा है, इतना पैसा है. वन प्लस वाला टैब, आई डोंट नो इफ वन प्लस है, लेनोवो वाला टैब इतना कर रहा है, आईपैड इतना कर रहा है. दे डू दैट. None of the अमीर guys are going for that. अमीर guys are just like, हाँ मेरे पास BMW है भैंचो, हाँ मेरे पास जी वैगन है, पर मेरे डेली I won't go to a fucking vegetable shop with a BMW, would I? I'd of course take the least expensive one, though it's a plastic box. I'm going to only travel for 20-30 minutes in it. Thar. But Creta, of course. The SUV of middle class. और क्या ही कह सकते हैं. प्लीज अपर मत लगाया करो यार. चश्मा लग चुका है, चश्मे की पावर भी बढ़ा दोगे तुम लोग अपर लगा के है ड्राइविंग पे. ये डिस्क्लेमर डाल देना पूरे एपिसोड का. वी कम फ्रॉम a fairly bit well-versed families, so we aren't kind of making fun or criticizing the middle class. Of if you belong to the middle class, just relate kar lo. Fun opinions hai, relate kar lo. If you like the episode, like always, like, share and subscribe with your cousins, with your friends, with your family. If your family is that type की गाली देने वाला, middle class में कोई family ऐसी नहीं होगी as per what I know. If you like this video, do the needful. If you like the setup, नीचे comment करके बताओ यार. बहुत पैसा लगा and बहुत सारे brain cells लगे हमारे, excluding college. Right. Excluding college, बहुत सारे brain cells लगे इस setup को achieve करने में. And episode 30 आएगा जब भी हम we decide to story time it and we have proper stories. That would be the next episode, hopefully.
के लिए थोड़े permissions लेने पड़ेंगे.
नहीं तो episode 30 would be the next episode. If you haven't watched episode 28 with story time, ऊपर है जाके देख लो. If you haven't watched भूल भुलैया का रिव्यू एंड सिंघम अगेन का रिव्यू, जब आएगा वो आएगा. हमने तो अभी तक मूवी नहीं देखे, वहाँ जाके देख लो, बिकॉज ये एपिसोड उसके बाद आएगा. फाइनली पीस ऑफ. एक सेकेंड रुक जा. एक एपिसोड बनते आ रहा है. यू नो दैट थिंग इज मूवेबल, राइट? You don't have to constantly stay in the range of the mic for it to pick up, so you can move it around as per how you like. Continue. Sorry. Put this at the end of the episode.